Welcome everyone to Bhutan Zoom Live with Yantara. So I will start sharing with my personal journey to Bhutan. I am. I went to Bhutan. I visited Bhutan back in 2014, and it was quite a spur of a moment decision because at that time in 2014 I had a burnout from my job and because of that, I took a short break in between two roles within the organization. And I was just chatting with a friend on just general chat. And he was just sharing about Bhutan is on his bucket list. And I got curious. I never heard of that country. And I got curious and start researching on Bhutan or Googling on Bhutan after the chat. And I go, wow, it looks really fascinating, though the information wasn't much at that time back in 2014. So with a calling, with like, I go like, I think this is it, the feeling of calling. I decided to just, book the trip within, I think I flew to Bhutan within a week. And of course, my friend got really upset with me. He go, hey, that's supposed to be my bucket list. I go, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm going. So I spent about 10 days. I went alone. And in Bhutan, you need to have a guide and you need to have a driver. So I was very well taken care by the driver and the guide. So the local people, Bhutanese, they are very kind, very down to earth. And I think during the whole journey, even though the theme wasn't really about spiritual or connecting to the vortexes, but naturally the land itself is magical. Wherever you turn, you'll see different temples. So later you'll hear Yantara share more about why we are, why there's a calling to this very magical land and where are the sacred vortexes that you'll hear more from him. That if you have a calling, probably this is the reason or one of the reasons why. So I really enjoyed that the journey itself. I think there wasn't much effort, but just being there and by just being crossing the mountains, looking at the rivers, um, getting in touch with the land, just immersing, being there. Naturally, I think I was being healed in my own way. Yeah. So anyone has a look at Yantara sharing about Bhutan um, on his website? Anyone has read? If not, that's fine. You're going to hear more from him later in person. And my first personal feeling when I read the itinerary, there was a very great attraction to me will be receiving the empowerment and also the teachings from the Lama, because this is quite rare. And for the Lama to be very kind, the Lama are actually the monks. They are called the monks in Bhutan, and we call them the Lama. They're very kind, and Lama Nima, which Shantara will share more later, that he's going to teach us personally. And to me, that is very precious to receive direct teachings from these Lama themselves. And it will deeply then help us to transform being in a sacred place and that will support us, yeah, very deeply. So I was very touched when I look at the itinerary that we have this opportunity to not only to be in this land, but to receive sacred teachings directly from this Lama. And of course, we will be also visiting some of the temples. Yeah. So I've been to a few sacred retreats with Yantara since 2011. And each time I feel I receive more than what I always expected. So I hope later you will receive many gifts in your own way through his words. And you would have the opportunity to visit Bhutan, whether it's with us or someday on your own to Bhutan. So, and At any time during our sharing later, please feel free to type in if you have any questions, any comments on Q&A, and also on the chat group. So I shall welcome Yantara online. So let's welcome Yantara.
Hello, hello everyone. Can you hear me well? If you can hear me well, you just type OK. Just want to make sure that wonderful, amazing. Okay, amazing, amazing. How are you doing? Thank you, Celia, for introducing and welcoming everyone here in this wonderful space that we are connected across the world. Um, it's a very powerful time. We just entered into a new energy. As always, every month we're moving into a new cycle, into a new frequency, and summer solstice, and bringing the solar vibration and activating us in quite many different ways. So do hydrate yourself well, I hope, and do your regular exercise, move your body, and connect with source in meditation, which will also have some meditation later on. So, welcome you all to journey together through the Bhutan retreat. I wanted to share the idea of Bhutan and also, why in general, when we go for retreats or we go for sacred journeys itself, what kind of things happen and what kind of energy work is taking place, why people are drawn to such places. Uh, I think it's helpful to know. I started leading sacred journeys in 2008, so that's quite some time ago. And the first sacred journey was to Egypt. In 2004, connected with Hermes, my main master guide, which in Greek you know as Hermes Mercury, or in Egyptian god you know him as Thoth or Merlin, and in Tibetan tradition we call him Guru Rinpoche. So Hermes, during when I was channeling Hermes since 2004, in 2007, during a deep meditation, he was saying, okay, next year, 2008, you're going to bring a group to Egypt. And I was like, huh. The closest country that I've been mostly in Asia. So I haven't gone all the way to the other side of the world. And then they said, you will bring a group there and trust, what's going to happen. I'll just open the path, and your role is to simply walk the path. So I accepted it during the meditation, the inspiration that came, and then I started searching online. And I think, very quickly, within a couple of months, we have filled up the all the names and the seats. So since then, 2008, I've been bringing people to many different parts of the world. And I've come to learn that these power sports or these energy sports itself, they have very specific uh, functions. Some vortex, some energy sports, they may have more healing powers or healing abilities. Some may have more about raising consciousness. Some could be about releasing blockages in the body. Some could be about your own reconnection with your soul in your past lives. You've been there before, or you have studied there before. So when you return back to such a place, your own soul is remembering those times that are there. That's one. And the other is that you will be activating some of the old codings or wisdom that you have accumulated during those times, and even spiritual abilities they may be awakened. So this is quite clear to my observation, because some participants, when they gone to like the White Desert in Egypt, or they've gone to Bosnia, to visit channels and the pyramids, or to Stonehenge, or to Sedona, Grand Canyon, to many different parts of the world, I've seen them, people transform and awaken their own energy centers. Though this is not entirely what we're deliberately searching for, it is something that happens naturally. We are preparing our bodies, we're preparing our energy channels to allow our inner blossom to occur. So I've never been to Bhutan until last year, 2004. So 2004, um, I went to Bhutan, and what inspired me to go there was because I felt last year for Wisat, because Wisat ceremony I've been doing for the past, or this year, I think the past 19 years. So last year on the 18th year, I've decided to spend time on my own. It's a feeling that I received because every year I was conducting a ceremony once a year. For those who doesn't know about Wisat ceremony, is that once a year, Shakyamuni Buddha, 2,500 years ago, since the ascension and enlightenment of Siddhartha Prince from India, and he gained enlightenment under the Buddhic tree, he became Shakyamuni Buddha. And every year, during the full moon of a very specific full moon, it could be in April or May, then Shakyamuni Buddha's consciousness will return back to Earth for about 8 minutes a year. So every year, since the first year I was being invited by the Ascended Masters to run the ceremonies, I've agreed to do that. So I've been doing that for 19 years now. And last year, I've decided to spend time on my own. Though it's not a personal decision, it also came as a feeling that I was being guided. Okay, you need to do that on your own. So I went to Bhutan. And when I went to Bhutan, I went to the Tara temple. We arranged a ceremony by the Rinpoches, the Lamas, the high monks, and they were doing a full day uh, recitation, mantras, um, and prayers on the Wesak full moon day. It was very auspicious. When we arrived at the car park area, it's actually quite big, and this Tara temple is very unique because it was specifically built, commissioned by people all around, donations, but also by the Queen Mother of Bhutan, who has been guided by Tara to build this temple through her dreams and messages. So that temple usually is not open to the public, but we had the privilege to enter and to conduct, request a ceremony in that space. So as we arrived on at the car park itself, it was filled with cars on that day last year in 2004 during Wesak in April. I was like, what's going on in right now? They were hanging these huge tanka. Huge tanka is like a religious Buddhist painting of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and deities and all. So only during auspicious days they will bring out these tankas that are really, really big. And they can be as big as like 3 stories high or 4 stories high, and they'll be like hanging outside. So we were seeing like these monks, they were walking around the car park and they were taking rice, and they were like throwing rice at the cars, and they were throwing the rice into the cars too. So people were winding down their windows, the monks were throwing rice, and they came to our bus, our little van, and they were also like throwing rice in there. So they're blessing all the cars on this auspicious day, because in Bhutan, they don't have trains, they don't have underground trains, they don't have trains on the ground. Everything is through cars and on windy roads at most times, and mountainous roads too. So they're blessing the cars that everybody have safe travel between cities, going to places, visiting temples for people visiting Bhutan. everybody's traveling and being safe. So they're doing all these blessings, and we're like feeling very part of the celebration on that day with the locals. And when we did the ceremony in the Tara temple, uh, I was very surprised too because a, it was a private arrange, and when we opened the door early in the morning, it was filled with locals. It was filled with the local Bhutanese sitting in there, and they were all holding on to booklets of scriptures, and they were reciting and listening together with the monks in there already. So I was like, wow, this is amazing because I didn't expect that this could be possible and that it's so organic and so blessed that everybody on this full moon is able to, this ceremony that we're initiated is able to open those doors and welcome anyone to join us in this wonderful prayers and blessing. So we were sitting together with the local people that were coming in, and they were sitting down and joining into the ceremony because probably they also don't know why there's a ceremony happening, except that it's a full moon, it's an auspicious day, but they could join in and receive that. So there were kids that were in there. There were people of all ages sitting and reciting and lighting lamps in the Tara temple. So in the Tara temple, there are 21 Taras, and Tara goddess is formed from the tears of goddess of mercy or Kuan Yin, one eye, one drop, green Tara and white Tara. And it's been said that because Kuan Yin observed and felt the suffering of the world and shed two tears, and each formed a bodhisattva, a great divine being that would serve and support humanity and bless people and help them to overcome their challenges and all. So Tara is said to be very compassionate. And when you recite the mantras, Om Taritu Tare Ture Soha, you are able to connect with her and able to receive her blessings and help you overcome your challenges, your emotional blockages, suffering, and so on and so forth. So we will be visiting the Tara Temple and also doing ceremonies there this time. We have to arrange that specifically to happen and have the Rinpoches, the Lamas, to come and do the ceremony for us. So there are specific ceremonies that are very different from the one that I've done last year, which I'll share a little bit more later. So far, I hope that you are, following me at this moment. Maybe some of the words or some of the terms you're not familiar, I've never heard of it before. It could be new to you. I will remember to put in some definition here and there if it is. If it's all flowing well, type Om in the chat group. So I kind of know that you're still here and you are presently journeying still with us. Yes. At times I will invite you to type certain keywords because as you focus and you type, it's like a mantra. You're like repeating it. And later on when we do the meditation, when I guide you to the meditation, you can align with the frequencies that we're going to connect with the masters and the bodhisattvas. We'll ask them to come and do a blessing for us. Yeah, so feel free to type in there and repeat that almost like a mantra that you're doing. Okay. So why what is been inspired to do Bhutan this year is because when I was hiking up to Tiger's Nest in Bhutan, we arrived in Paro, which is the main city and the only no, not the only airport, but the main city that we're arriving in is Paro, and about 2,000 over meters above sea level. And when we arrive in Paro, we will be visiting one of the very powerful vortex temple called the Tiger's Nest. So the Tiger's Nest is in Paro. It's not difficult to get there. It's just that it can be quite high. It gets about 3,100 meters above sea level. So we take our time slowly to, walk up. It will take about 3 hours or so. And in the past, 10 years ago, maybe even longer, there were no easy path to go up. It was very challenging, but slowly the local people, and especially during COVID time, they were preparing and clearing the land so that it's easier for people of all ages to slowly make their way up there. And there are also lots of stairs with handles, that you can support yourself a little bit here and there, going to the tiger's nest. And this is how it looks like at the top, above 3,100 or so above sea level. This is the arrival of the tiger's nest. If you see on the left hand side, at the bottom, you can see these tiny, tiny steps. these, these are the steps which we'll be taking eventually when we reach here. Even though it may take us about close to 3 hours to get up there, that there are washrooms along the way, don't worry. Um, for the locals, it's very fast. Midway, it will take them maybe just within 30 minutes. They'll reach mid-level already. And then very quickly they will go up. They're very used to this kind of trekking and hiking. So I went to Tiger's Nest, and Tiger's Nest is dedicated to Guru Rinpoche. So Guru Rinpoche is, like I said, is connected to Hermes, connected to Thoth, Merlin. And during the 8th century, Guru Rinpoche came here and he rode on a tiger, and he came here and he subdued a demon. So subduing demon means that in this world of dualities, there are positive and negative energies. We don't say they are good or bad. It's just that they are virtues or vice. It's like our heart. Sometimes we feel hate, sometimes we feel love, sometimes we feel anger, sometimes we feel compassion. So different emotions, we may have different emotions from positive to negative. Sometimes we feel like hurting someone, or we unintentionally say something negative to someone and hurt somebody. But for someone who has developed a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, and they have no, uh, opportunity or blessing to overcome the challenges, to give them wisdom and help them to change the way they think, they may strongly and eventually develop and transform themselves into a demon, and they will start to hurt people, like murderers and all, and like terrorists. They have been hurt themselves, and they've been brainwashed eventually, and then they become negative. So Guru Rinpoche, with all wisdom, uh subdued the demon, and the demon, when subdued itself, they become protectors. They can become guardians of the truth. They surrendered and they realize their own negative acts, and they want to change for the good. So now they become a humble servant. They become a humble guardian to protect the place. Yeah, to protect people, to protect practitioners, spiritual practitioners, so that they can also have the opportunity to, through helping other people, they can release their own negative energies and become better. So when I went to this tiger's nest, it was very, very powerful because there were caves in there that Guru Rinpoche used to meditate there. And when I went and sat in because in there there are several rooms, there are several uh, temples, so to speak, and they combine together. So you can see different versions of, or different manifestations of Guru Rinpoche's statue, and you can sit in there and pray and meditate. And when I sat in there, all these shapes, patterns, mandalas, symbols, they just keep flashing rapidly without me doing anything. It's not that because I have a special kind of energy body, or I have opened up my channels or stuff. There are many people who have reported to have very amazing experience, even though they may not be sensitive to energy, or done any of this before. By just being present in such a highly concentrated energy spot, it just opens them up. And if a master, a being, they want to give you something, they make sure that you know it. So it will, they blast all the way through your consciousness, and you will see, you will feel, and things like that. So all these symbols and all were really coming through rapidly, and I felt very enveloped in that frequency. So I sat there for quite some time. We Also had the privilege to meet the abbot there, which we will arrange for our group to receive blessings when we come to the Tiger's Nest, visit Tiger's Nest. And this power spot, usually the Tiger's Nest is visited at the end of a regular common Bhutan itinerary. So if you're a tourist and you are visiting Bhutan, it's most likely that they will arrange to visit Tiger's Nest towards the end of your trip. And that's not what I want. I wanted it to be as soon as possible. So after a day's rest, we will be going to the Tiger's Nest. It is manageable. Don't worry about that. And when we are there, why I arranged it in the beginning of the trip rather than the end is because I want our energy bodies to be ready to open up and to receive the blessings by the monks there, the abbot, and also to receive activations through the vortexes. It's not just one, the vortexes there at Tiger's Nest. Then, with that activation and opening in our energy channels, we will go to Thimphu, the next city, so where we'll spend most of our time in retreat. So when we're in Thimphu, we'll be doing meditations for quite many days at different places, of course. We'll be doing 2 days of ceremonies led by the Lamas, and we'll be also having oral transmission. And oral transmission is a process where the monks of having attained of a certain caliber and certain level will now have the ability and the power to transfer officially a mantra to you. So it's like putting a stamp on your energy field and giving you direct access to connecting to a specific master, a specific Buddha or some sort. So that when you recite the mantra that you have been passed on to orally, when you recite this mantra, you'll be so much more in tune, so to speak. So it's like those who have received Reiki attunements, Arcturus attunement, any kind of energy attunement, energy healing attunements. If it's done properly, you will now have direct access to that frequency, direct access to that energy. It's a very precious uh, moment and very sacred too. It's like passing on to you. Now you have the right. Now you have the key to recite this mantra that will give you greater power and greater access to transform yourself through the use of this mantra. So it can be any mantras depending on what the ceremony is and what the lamas and rinpoches will bring us. So it could be the mantra of green Tara, which is Om Tare Tu Tare Turi Soha, or it could be the mantra of Kuan Yin, the forearm Kuan Yin Om Mani Padme Hum, which is helpful for purifying the mind, and helping for ascension, and raising positive energy in you. It could be the mantra of Guru Rinpoche, the Oma Hong, Benza Guru Pema Sini Hong. It's clearing obstacles, very powerful for clearing obstacles, negative energies, and also for enlightenment. So many different functions of different mantras, depending on what we're being given. Yeah. So it's very sacred, and when that's given, you usually, depending on the context of what that mantra is about, you usually can visualize yourself as the being, as the deity. So if you imagine yourself as Kuan Yin or as Guru Rinpoche or as Tara, so if you visualize yourself as that being, you can resonate with that frequency more. Prior to having received the oral transmission, usually when we recite a specific mantra, we will visualize the deity just above the crown chakra, rather than visualizing yourself becoming the deity itself, the being itself, the master itself. So that's one of the difference, I must say. Maybe I'll pull up let me see, I'll pull up an image here. So giving you an example, for example, this is White Tara. So White Tara has 7 eyes. You can see the third eye, 2 eyes, the each eye on the palms and each eye on the feet. Yeah, so the seven eyes. So all symbolism. It doesn't mean that, Tara will appear with eyes and she literally have eyes growing on her body, but it's a symbolism of wisdom and compassion, transformation to penetrate through illusions and all that. So all these are symbols of a qualities of our innate nature. That means all of us have these innate virtues and innate nature, and we are awakening ourselves to become our true nature, to return back to our true nature. So some people are saying, "Oh, I want to find out who I am. Who am I really? Yeah, source energy and all that. You realize this is not the true me. It's just a name. It's just a personality. It's just this life that I'm living. But really, who am I truly? So we're always searching for our true self, and and the true self is discovered when we shed off all the layers of illusions, when we shed off our challenges, the thoughts that we think that we are, then we can discover more and more. So all these masters and beings, they have attained through very high level of realization, and they help us to cut short the journey of discovering who we are. By reciting these mantras and all, it can help us to link with that certain frequency to connect us and raise our consciousness. So mantras are taken from different dimensions and different worlds. They are being borrowed from other worlds. So, say for example, this particular world has no illness, has no disease, and so when we connect to that world, say the world of medicine Buddha. So from medicine Buddha, they give us the mantra, and we take the mantra. When we recite the mantra, we are opening up like a phone call or a website URL. And we're typing it in, we click enter, and we enter into that world. If the dot and the letters of the URL has a mistake typo, we won't be able to access the website because it's an incorrect URL address. If you call the wrong phone number, you'll be able to dial through, and therefore the other party will be able to pick up, and you can't hear their voice, you can't hear their sound and all that. You can't see and experience anything from that side. So a mantra serves like a phone number. It serves like a URL where when you type in and we dial in, it connects you to that world, and you can access information that is only available in that world. So mantras connects us with very specific worlds and connects us with very specific frequencies. So if it's such a world, in an example I just gave, like medicine Buddha, which is no illness, no disease, then when we recite that mantra, the illnesses in our body and disease in our body gets reduced. The impact that we experience in this world, in this human world, gets reduced. So in this world that we live in, and in several other dimensions too, there is like birth and aging, illness, and death. And this is the karma world. So in the higher dimensional world, the Buddha worlds, they don't have these because they're out of the karmic world already. So they're not affected by that. Any sounds, mantras, any vibrations that's there, it can be infinite and eternal. And it doesn't decay because it's beyond space-time. In terms of quantum concepts, it's beyond space-time. There's no need to go through the cycles of rebirth and so on and so forth. So when we hear such a sound or we get access to such a mantra that could potentially link us to such a state, then we are going beyond, our consciousness are rising, going beyond duality. And so all the illnesses, diseases, and the problems and all that, they cannot reside in those worlds. They don't exist in those worlds. So we feel that these problems begins to leave us. These blockages begins to leave us. They become lesser, and the impact is lesser. So raising consciousness brings us great benefits because as we raise, we're entering to those worlds which doesn't have problems, which problems cannot exist because they're of a different octave, they have different vibration. So when we're in that world, we feel good, we feel life is wonderful, everything is perfect. But when our consciousness starts to return and drop back to this normal level again, or to our uh, standard state of vibration, the problems return because we resonate back to the same frequencies again. Until we keep practicing and practicing that we can prolong or sustain a higher state of consciousness, then we will no longer feel as difficult or as challenged than before. So that's, the power of mantra to help us more quickly uh, bring us to a higher state of frequency, whether it's for healing, for, purifying the mind, or opening our wisdom and developing our compassion, maybe clearing obstacles and, transforming karma and things like that. So that's, part of the mantra side. Then through the guidance of Guru Rinpoche, Guru Rinpoche gave me a vision of a lotus bud. So he showed me this lotus bud, and the lotus bud represents it having grown from the mud. And this mud represents our, maybe you can say, ignorance. It can represent our lack of wisdom. It can represent our negative emotions, thoughts, and so on and so forth. And as the lotus grows from the mud, as it comes up to the pond, it's no longer stained by the mud anymore. It doesn't stay on the flower, but it doesn't stay on the leaves or anything, but it can only grow from the mud. So the lotus is being used as a sacred symbol, very much in the tradition of Buddhism, to represent enlightenment. And there's a reason for that. As it grows out from the mud, as it rises from the depths of the pond and the water rising up, when it opens, when it fully blossoms, it is the only flower that contains the fruit and the flower at the same time. So it's not just a flower blossoming, but the flower also bears its fruit at the same time. Usually, for fruit to grow, the flower has to blossom first, and then there is a pollination happens, and then the flower petals falls off, and eventually the fruit starts to grow from the center of the sternum. So the lotus is the one that blossoms and bear fruits at the same time. So what that means is also that you blossom and you gain your enlightenment, you achieve your enlightenment, your full realization at the same time. And when Guru Rinpoche showed this vision of a flower bud, but only one petal unfolds, it kind of unplugs, creating a sound, puck, like that. And it only showed me this vision. I was very moved by this vision because it means that we are awakening, isn't it? We are now in the first stage of awakening. And that one pluck of that sound, it means that we were sleeping. Yeah, we were sleeping for a very long time in the mud. Slowly, we raise our consciousness slowly above the water. And then finally, now we can see the flower bud. And we don't know how long that has been already sitting there. Maybe for lifetimes after lifetimes and lifetimes after lifetimes. And maybe after thousands of mantras and meditation and the clearing on emotional blockages. And then finally, pop, one petal now has unfolded. Yay! Congratulations, congratulations. Um, so what this means is that we're all going to unplug our first petal, isn't it? We're going to unfold our first petal. And that's great encouragement. It's a great encouragement for all of us. When the lotus unfolds, it does so very, very quietly, isn't it? When a flower blossoms, it doesn't make a fanfare, it doesn't make an announcement, and it doesn't say like, "Oh, look at me, I'm enlightened." It doesn't say that. It does so very quietly. It doesn't announce to the world. It doesn't show itself and put a label stamp on their face and say, "I'm enlightened, I'm awakened." People who are truly awakened and enlightened, they don't say that. They don't tell other people that I'm awakened, I'm enlightened, because they realize to a certain stage that by saying that itself, it means they're not enlightened. It means they're not awakened. So awakening and enlightenment is a very subtle process that occurs so quietly yet so beautifully. When before you realize it's already blossomed. So awakening requires repetitive, continuous state of progress, where enlightenment, it means that you have already attained the state of full realization. So there are many, many awakenings and many, many small awakenings, many aha moments, aha moments. Each time you raise your consciousness, you realize something about the universe. You realize something about you. You realize something about the truth of the universal laws, the true nature of your mind, of your heart, your thoughts, your emotions, your relationship with others, past lives, present lives, whatever that it is. You recognize the connections and all. Slowly, you see the connections between everything, from sacred geometries to crystals to herbs, to mantras, to sound, to meditation, to breath, to emotions, thoughts, and everything. Everything is that part of that tools and practices to help us gain little bits of awakening, so that it eventually lead us to open up this lotus to blossom the flower. So, having received that vision, therefore the Bhutan retreat is being created. It is not a journey or retreat that is touristy, though we will visit, of course, some shops, some places and stuff. But the main focus is about meditation, is about going there to have the opportunity to upgrade ourselves spiritually, to really focus and go deeper. So this is really good for people who want to go deeper, who wants to really open their heart, surrendering to any support and blessing that could come, especially at such a powerful place. Because Bhutan is very dedicated to meditation, it's very dedicated to harmony and positive mind, positive thinking. The land is very pure in that sense. There are many temples in the world that have become very touristy. That means they're maintaining the temples, they are doing the prayers because tourists are coming, because they are doing a business. They are not actually living the culture, living life as though it is part of them. But Bhutan itself is like that. Even if tourists doesn't come, even if the temple doesn't have money, it doesn't matter. This is their way of living. Ceremonies, mantras, prayers, doing the prayer wheel, climbing up to the mountain every day, hiking to the tiger's nest, visiting countless endless temples, no matter how amazing it looks, how beautifully decorated it may be, or how shabby looking it might be on the side of the road. Every little thing, opportunity for them is a moment to pray, it's a moment to meditate, it's a moment to offer their appreciation, is to offer their blessings and prayers to the world, to their family, to their friends, to animals, to whatever. So all of that purity of their intention makes it such a suitable and wonderful place to visit and to receive and to give, to co-create. So, um, therefore, I feel it's a very clean place, very pure place of thoughts vortexes for us to meditate and be guided by the lamas and the monks there. Of course, I will be teaching too, and we have workshops, and we'll be doing meditations and activations at various places. But co-creating with the lamas, with the monks there, is one of the very powerful highlights of traveling to Bhutan this year. So, besides doing the ceremony at the Tara Temple in Thimphu and receiving the oral transmission, we will have also ceremonies dedicated to clearing karma. Because karma are simply actions, they are energies that stop us from moving forward. Sometimes when we want to attend a workshop, when we want to go for a retreat, when we want to do something that is beneficial for our own growth, we encounter challenges. Maybe we are stopped by our family members. Maybe suddenly something happens. So now you have to cancel it. You cannot go for it. Maybe there could be financial challenges because of this, or your body gets sick suddenly for no reason. Every time you want to go for a workshop, your body gets sick. Every time you want to upgrade yourself, you get injured. Maybe there's delays, obstacles. Your flight get cancelled or something happens. All these obstacles are negative energies that are stopping you to grow, and we call it karma um obstacles. So through mantra recitation, through prayers, through specific rituals, ceremonies, we can work with higher powers to clear these challenges. And we clear it not like we're going for a war and we're fighting against this negative energy. We're offering blessings to the source of where these negative energies are coming from, because these negative energies could be coming from some of the people that you may have heard from in your past lives, or this present life you may have said something and hurt someone. So when they think negatively about you, when they don't like you, their negative thoughts becomes a hurdle for you because they don't want good things to happen to you. So these negative energies becomes having an intelligent, and they entered into the field, the quantum field, and they resonate with your vibration. So this you start to encounter these challenges. So clearing negativity, clearing karma is helpful for people who wants to practice spiritually more, who wants more success in life, who wants to have smoother relationship with others, who wants to receive more abundance, good connections, everything and anything that you want. We want to reduce these obstacles. We want to offer blessings for others, to people that we may be in debt with them. We don't know who, but we're offering our blessings and say, I'm sorry, thank you, please forgive me. And I set you free, set yourself free, and all that. So their ceremonies are dedicated for that. And there could be a lot of surprises too, in terms of additional gifts that we may receive through the compassion of the lamas. They may offer us something that is not in our itinerary. And most of the time, they always do. They're very, very kind to do that. Then we also visit Lama Nima. We're going to Duchala Pass. Duchala Pass is a kind of like is a bridge. It's a place, a location that's also quite high, 3,000 over meters above sea level. And we'll meet with Lama Nima. Lama Nima is the abbot of one of the temple there. And when I visited him last year, I felt very connected with him. He's very, very friendly. It's very loving. When you spend time with him, you just smile and you just laugh. You joke with him. His heart is very open, and he has introduced us sacred caves where we can meditate uh, at Duchala Pass, the 11 caves there. So it's big enough for groups to be separated, and then we can choose the caves to go and meditate. They're not like deep, deep caves in the mountains. Don't worry about that. It's caves up the hill. It's easy to go. Though when we walk up the steps, due to the thinness of oxygen, we may feel a little bit like, okay, we need to take it slow. But it's very, very suitable, I feel, because you don't have so much oxygen in your brain. Maybe you can slow down your brain wave more easily and get into a state of meditation. Yeah. So we'll be guided by Lama Nima too. The last day of Bhutan last year, before I left Bhutan, I had a dream. I dreamt of Lama Nima, and I shared with him my dream. And I said I have an inspiration. Say, if I'm gonna bring groups next year, which is this year, 2025, could you please guide my group and maybe teach us meditation, through your method itself. It will be really wonderful to learn directly. So he said, okay lah, sure. And so it's like very open to that. And so we've arranged for him to guide us. We'll spend some time, two days with him, and not the entire day, just for a couple of hours from morning to, I think, afternoon, somewhere around that time. There will be some ceremonies too that he will do, prayers for us, but he will lead us and teach us meditation. So if you're interested to learn meditation directly from a lama, from a very, very, very kind, compassionate, great Lama, then Lama Nima is going to support us. Yeah. So I'll show you a picture of Lama Nima. See. Let me stop sharing this. Okay. Here, can you all see? Yeah. So this is Lama Nima. Let me zoom in. And he will be guiding us when we are at the Dochala Pass. Though we are not staying at Dochala Pass, uh, we'll be traveling to him for the 2 days. But it's not far. It's just an hour or so uh, through the roads to find Lama Nima. And this place of him is where I took the photo. It's a very small room. It's a very small hut, that's outside of his temple. It's very casual, we kind of crowd around and sit around, but very comfortable, very beautiful, like all the colors. Yeah. So Lama Nima. Mm. And so as we meditate with Lama Nima and to the caves, to Tara Temple, we'll also visit other temples where we will also get to meditate at special places. And we'll make special arrangements for that too, to gain access and experience the vortexes, uh, to receive activations. So one of the main highlight too in the workshop that we'll be doing is related to sound. The entire retreat is related to sound, but the workshop is focused on how to use sound to raise consciousness, how to use sound to transcend duality. So I will talk about that because it's a little bit esoteric content, uh, but we learn how we'll understand the true nature of sound and how we use that to practice in our daily practices to raise consciousness. Then we'll, of course, recite mantras. We'll listen to sound and to move our chakras and to clear blockages within us and to know where we are, how we can proceed on to our next stage of consciousness. So we'll be having discussions, we'll be doing actual practices, and then I will share with you how to do it. And then we will do these exercises and practices too. Yeah. So I hope so far it's been clear. If there's anything that is not making sense, or like you don't know what I'm saying because of some terms that I've used, please again feel free to ask questions or type it here, and then I'll be able to answer your questions. We will have medics with us throughout the trip, just in case. Though I didn't need a medic during my trip, the last visit. Most people don't need, but just in case, we will have medics with us following throughout our entire retreat, because it is, after all, quite high, 3,000 above sea level for some places. So some people may be a bit sensitive to that. Otherwise, it's very manageable. It's very comfortable. And the energy is very, very clean. Food with nature, rivers, and all. Food is good too, so don't worry about food. Food is fine. We'll be able to, as much as possible, cater to what is needed to your dietary requirements and any allergies itself. So if you read online about Bhutan food, you probably find a lot of cheese, a lot of chili, and things like that. But don't worry about that. I won't be expecting us to keep eating cheese. And of course, we'll have many other things too. And they're very international. We'll be staying at a new hotel that is opening next month. It's only opening next month. It's beautiful up the hill and very comfortable. Why we choose comfortable places is because when we are at such a high altitude level and we are focusing, we're doing mantras, recitation, we're doing bits of hiking, and all that. It's kind of like a little bit like a pilgrimage, but at the same time retreat. You want the body to be able to integrate well when you are sleeping. You want the body to be fed well so that you got your nutrition, you have energy to stay focused, to stay alert. You can do your meditation. You're not like, oh, my body is tired, I'm in pain, I have soreness here and there. You want to be, as much as possible, have a reasonable level of comfort so that you can focus in your meditation. We're not doing like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month staying there. You only have 10 days, which includes traveling time and includes moving about, hiking, and all. So you do want your body as much as possible whenever is required to get straight into, a state where you can focus, where you can meditate, where you can go into your zone. So that's why in my retreat, in my sacred journeys, I always try to provide comfort. Uh, Therefore, we choose better hotels, accommodations, and transportation will also be comfortable. Services itself, medics, any form of protection if it's needed, stuff like that. So all that is to assist us so that throughout a journey we are comfortable and that you get integration too as the days pass. So you don't need to integrate as much after you leave the retreat, after you leave the sacred journey. Sometimes when people go for retreats, people go for a sacred journey, and it's like they're being slammed by a truck, they like go back home and then they just go horizontal for weeks. Like they need so much time, so much downtime just to settle down. But if we learn how to integrate while we are on the go, how to integrate these energies, these codings that's coming, then we can better function and we can go back to our community and quite quickly we can share these gifts and blessings and activations that we receive to our community, to your own groups, to your own clients, to your own students, and so on and so forth. There's also something that I want to share um, about something magical. If you've never heard of this before, there's this term called terma. And terma in English, it means hidden treasures. So Guru Rinpoche, like I said, during the 8th century, he went around Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, all these places. And Guru Rinpoche, his name also means the lotus born. That means he's born from the lotus. And Shakyamuni Buddha in the past has mentioned not that Shakyamuni Buddha wrote scriptures, but through Shakyamuni Buddha's words, his words were being written down later on in scriptures. And he mentioned that through one of Shakyamuni Buddha's sharing and sermons and session, Shakyamuni Buddha said that one day there will be this great master that will be born from a lotus, and his name is as such. So in English, we call it Guru Rinpoche. It's like the guru of all gurus. That's what it means. Rinpoche it means guru. Lama is also means guru or a mentor, a spiritual teacher, a guide. So Guru Rinpoche, it means the guru of all gurus. So Guru Rinpoche, the lotus born, during the 8th century, went to all these places. He has great special powers, magical powers, and he subdued many, many demons across the lands of different places. And a lot of these temples were being built on these locations. And it became vortexes. They become guardians, like I shared earlier. And Buddhism begins to spread in those places. So he know that in the future, all these teachings, sacred teachings, special teachings, even divine tools, actual physical magical tools will be in danger. They will be destroyed. They will be stolen, or suppressed, or forgotten. So, in order to prevent these uh, wisdom tools, teachings to be destroyed, he hid them in places. So These hidden treasures, so to speak, they call it termas, are hidden in various locations. And where are they hidden? Guru Rinpoche has hidden them, for example, in clouds, in trees, in rocks, inside a mountain, in a river, in space. Guru Rinpoche at that time was already very much like what we call today as a quantum being. He's already understanding all the quantum aspects of the universe. So he could hide all these treasures, all these wisdom and tools inside physical rocks, in the clouds, in the sky, in air, in energy spaces, you know, in the rivers, in water, anywhere itself. He could hide these treasures, he could hide these items. And when the right time comes, in terms of the people that has residence, that has the virtues in the heart, they will get these activations and downloads when they visit these places. And suddenly this flood of information will come and they will just keep writing down on paper, or they might receive the physical object. Their hands could penetrate walls. They might get the object out, or the walls may move, the rocks may move, and then it might be revealed. Certain things may come. There are a lot of these so-called imprints of his work and his energy in these sacred places where his palm stem or his foot stem kind of melts into the stone, and then you can see that it was his imprint into these objects of nature that physically as a human we can't achieve that. So he hid all these things there, and we call it hidden treasures. So sometimes when we visit these places, power places, we may get messages, we may get some teachings coming directly from these masters, these ascended masters, these vortexes that has kept information there for a long time. So don't be surprised if sometimes you get inspiration, you get a symbol, you get a color, you get a shape, you get something that is your little gift, yeah, that when we visit this place. You may not know the meaning immediately. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But they act as like codings that stays in your energy field, and it will activate when you do certain mantras, when you do certain meditation, you do certain visualization. It may activate you to have that ability to help you practice. It may be a completely new style of practice, a very specific way of meditating. Maybe it tells you to visualize things in a certain way, to add this color, to add this shape, and so on and so forth. So all these sacred teachings or hidden treasures are called terma, and they're hidden in these places. And Bhutan is one of the place that has these hidden treasures. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that to attention, because I will be mentioning it again when we are traveling there. So far, I hope you've been following, what's the flow of what Bhutan is doing that can offer. How sound can activate or work on our chakras and light bodies is that when we recite the mantra or when we tone, anybody is doing it easily. When we make a sound, when we tone, because singing and toning is a full body exercise. And the sound resonates in different chambers. We call it resonance chambers of our body. Could be the chest, could be the throat, could be the face, cheek, or the forehead. So low, mid, high notes. When they vibrate in our body through our voice, we are causing energies to move through the channels within us. So in other words, we are circulating energies in our body through the power of sound. And through that circulation, chakras will spin, chakras will move, energies will accelerate, and clearing occurs naturally. Just like you drinking water, it will clear toxins out of your body naturally. You don't have to think about it like, oh, I want to clear toxins in my body, therefore I'm drinking water. You just drink, and your organs, your body will do the job as it's being programmed to do. So as we do mantras, as we do toning and singing, your body will also start moving energies So you will start to, clear blockages within. You will start to shift things as it happens. So this happens naturally. But when we are intentionally and deliberately directing certain sounds, making certain notes, or we are practicing specifically how to listen, then we are moving energies in a very different way than as per usual how a person will tone. With that intention and with that way of toning and singing, it will start to move the energy in a very specific way that will open up the channels of the body to function and connect with certain frequencies. So that may be targeting on health, it may be targeting on career, maybe targeting on money, maybe targeting on relationship, maybe targeting on karma, could be targeting on clearing the mind, could be targeting on developing wisdom, could be about the heart chakra, could be about, um, uh, serious illnesses, yeah, or it could be about um, reducing negative impacts, or it could be about creating more connections with others. So these effects or functions or activities that we will want to generate at the end need to be done through specific ways. Yeah. Just like every meditation is different depending on what is the end result of the meditation that you want to achieve. Therefore, you should do your meditation differently. Say, if you want to relax, then maybe you will use your breath. Focus on your breath to help your body to relax. And that's it. That will help you to relax. But if you want to focus, if you want to, raise your consciousness, then maybe you need to focus on a particular point in your body. Maybe you need to visualize light, so on and so forth. Or you might recite a mantra, so on and so forth. So different result that you want to achieve, we should use different meditation techniques to achieve. You cannot use the same meditation that you've been doing to achieve different results that you desire. It doesn't work that way. So knowing what you want to achieve, we need to then employ the appropriate techniques and the appropriate meditation. So sound meditation is a specific type of meditation. It's not just listen like that. How to listen, how to respond to the sound. Should we respond to the sound? How do we guide ourselves so that we can use the sound to raise consciousness? All these needs to be discussed. All these needs to be, we need to go through it, spend time to talk about this. It can't be summarized so quickly, you know. In order to get it correctly, we need to talk about that. So sound meditation, sound healing, and using sound to raise consciousness can affect our light bodies, can affect our chakras, and more importantly, it affects our consciousness and it clears the energy blockages within our body. These are just natural progression of what will happen when we do these practices. As to what end and what means of the end that we achieve, that will depend on each person's current level of spiritual development. We call it spiritual development. So at which level of spiritual development are you at? Then your result may differ from others. Yeah. So if we don't want to compare, like, oh, that person experienced this, I want to experience that too, because your body constitution is different and your your current stage development is different. So we need to use the right meditation technique that is suitable for you. And if you use the right meditation technique that is suitable for you, you're going to see growth. You're going to see transformation accelerating. Otherwise, everybody's the same way, we're using the same way, you may not see the result that you want. So in other words, we have foundation that's similar for everybody, but some form of tailoring that is suitable for your current stage itself can be identified. Yeah. But we need to discuss this during workshops and as we, talk and we come together, then I will be able to support you on that. Yeah. And hear from you what's your experience, whether what you see, what you hear, what you experience and all that itself is reflecting, yeah, what you want to achieve or not. So these are really exciting things because um, it's more specific, yeah, to how we can work with sound and how we can work with even crystal singing bowls, how the sound of the bowl can help us in awakening. You know, through Kuan Yin's teaching, the goddess of mercy, there is a specific technique called a full realization through listening using the ear root. And this will be what we'll be using mainly also during the retreat in Bhutan, which is to use the ear root to help us in our meditation to gain enlightenment, to have full realization. Um, in this technique itself, it's been said that even just the sound of a thunder or the sound of a bell, a sound of a whip, you know, a sound of something dropping on the floor that makes a clinging sound, a loud bang, a noise, a voice, a thunder, a bell, that instant sound of just that split moment can awaken the person to realize its true nature. If we just listen like this, how can a sound of a thunder, a sound of a bell, like a crystal bowl, or a sound of a voice at that instant moment, just like that, just one sound, pum, that person is awakened. Because that observation and that realization of the true nature of sound helps the person to realize the true nature of himself. And that realization breaks the blockages in the mind and breaks the confusion, breaks the illusion, breaks the identities. It breaks the structure or construct of the mind that we have been clinging on to this world. It breaks all of that. Suddenly you like, whoa, you know, everything opens up. And then you realize I'm not all of that either. Just that one word. Sometimes when you hear someone speak, when you um, read from a book, you maybe a word or statement, a phrase, it goes deep inside of you. You don't know what it means, but you know that it's true. There's some form of truth that resonate with the truth inside of you. So this is like a calling. This is like a mirroring, a reflection of an awakening happening from within. That one word itself just switch you on. And then that energy opens up and the blockages is cleared. Just that by one word or that one phrase. Though it can go away and disappear and it return back to feeling normal again. But if you have the opportunity to keep stimulating it, this kind of repetitive awakening aha moments is going to be more consistent and the flow it will get greater. So again, all these are done through observation, observation of things, observation of sound, observation of smell, through observation. And observation comes from meditation. Meditation requires breath, relaxation, and through the support of environment. If we go to a vortex, if we go to a power spot, it is so much more easier to get into the state straight away. The environment already is so conducive for you to come into alignment with your source. And thereafter, from that power place of yours, you can tap into your infinite potential and allow your inner growth, your inner bud flower, your lotus to blossom. So that's, the nutshell, the mapping of why we do these things at certain places, because it's a lot more easier, because it's a lot more faster. And when we get introduced from people that has direct access to high dimensional energies, why not? Because it saves us time. And when we receive blessings itself, it helps us to clear blockages and obstacles in our life. Things become smoother. Why not? Everything becomes better when we return back home, when we continue to do our work, when we continue to do our service work, when we continue our relationship with others, things improve. So these are acceleration, these are quantum leaps, these are accelerations that we can give permission to ourselves to be a part of, so that nobody complains that we're getting too much blessings. Blessings is never enough because we have too much negative energy. So we need more blessings always to help us navigate through life. And the world is changing rapidly right now. 2025 is global transformation, it's a year of world transformation. So we need all the blessings that we need. And if anything happens to the world in any way, we can stand as a pillar of light, not just for ourselves, but also especially for our family members, so that we can be a support for them and not be flustered. Our emotional state is stable, our mental state is clear, and we're able to navigate through and help others if there is a need and it becomes. So practicing and raising our consciousness and continuous development, spiritual growth and spiritual development, ideally should be our first priority as much as possible throughout the rest of our lives. And that will help us to really live our life more meaningfully and with purpose. Yeah. So with that, I would like to invite you now to meditate together with me, and we're going to ask for blessings with the masters and all. So wherever you are, if it's convenient for you, put your hands, palms facing up on your laps in your posture that you are at ease. Okay. So please close your eyes and bring your attention to your nose. Breathe in through your nose and take long exhalations through your mouth. As you exhale, relax your shoulders. As you inhale, now feel your heart embracing the entire space into your inner being. Feel your heart embracing the entire space into your inner being. In this time, in this space, you're perfect where you are. Your source has guided you to be here, to come into alignment. And as each moment passes, it's going to get easier and easier. Breathe in and breathe out. Akiastastu jimbulartia tuaswara renturia jatu jimbulartuya namayasta. Akyasha jimbulartia tu jimbularndoria tatia su jindarndoriana. Padyalarndoria tuzu jimbularndorianam. Pulaladia jukurtia. We call forth to all the ascended masters, to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, to the Siddhas, the saints and the gurus, our guides, the angels and archangels, and cosmic angels, our star family members, to surround us and bless us, uplift our consciousness and our vibration. Mukushila lare mukuyelaka ruzugadabaraka zikishja. Akujikadabarazaka rzukadabaraglijikisia. Lekishikadazagadabarakajta. Alarzukadabarakijikadazagadabarakashta. Mekishikadabaraklastia. We ask for the opening of our hearts to greater love, to greater wisdom. Ayishikadaka rzukadabarakashta labaraklastia. Abakushikadabaraka rzukadabarakishikadabarakastia. Ekishikadabarakala rzukadabarakishikadabarakizikadabarakishta. Akajikadazakadabarakar zukadabarakojikadazagadabarakashta. Aizagadazagadabakar zukadabarshalabaka. Ilarnadazukadabarakar zukadabashalabarakar zukadabashirabarakasti akashta. Izagadazagadabakazakadishta. Allow light from source to pour down to your crown chakra, to the center of your brain, down your face, and like water, seep into your throat, to your thymus, to your chest, solar plexus, your spleen, navel, sacral, to the base of your spine, all the way through your legs, and like roots of a tree spreading into the earth, into the inner earth sun. As you hear the sound, any sounds, sound of the voice, sound of music, sound or noise around you, any sound, this is sound represents the power of the universe. It represents Kuan Yin's energy. And this ocean of sound is filled with information, is filled with codings. Through the power of sound, like Om, Ah, U, E, E, any of the vowels, these sounds vibrates across the entire universe, echoes across rippling. And when they are structured together, it becomes a formula, an equation to work on our energy bodies. We request the great masters, the gurus and saints to bless us, to prepare our energy bodies so that we may receive codings that will help us in our growth and transformation. Om Alamarundara Jukutia, Olarda Tuja Balakotia, Olarnara Sudishar Narabuya, Bular Narabatuji, Larnarabura Balakurdaria, Omar Nuya Jamoluzria, Jujalardoria, Zudea Juror, the Edavarakushtia. And if you can do this, put your hands together, one hand on top of the other, and let your palms rub against each other in a circular motion. So you like rubbing your hands like this. You're just rubbing your hands in this way. Palms against palms. Okay. You don't have to do it fast. You can do it at your own pace, comfortable pace. Minia Harndui, India, Urunduria Shitar, Urunduria Bishitar, Undriadamar, Unduria Shitar, Urundianam, India Ladin, Yumia, Urunduria Shitar, Unduria Brasutela, Unduriaram, Hushela, Unduriela, Arduanam, Idia Surela Clastia, Valacartia. Sometimes you may feel like you want to go in reverse motion, clockwise into counterclockwise, or counterclockwise into clockwise, whichever, as you're guided. Iliar Narajika Sakar, Yashika Bakar, Eversika Bakar, Nria, Hidia Lorin, Yidio Humia Lurno, Shindrea Toyera, Hidia Narashikabalar to a Sikabakar, Eversika Bakar, Yasika Baklista, Clabasia, Lavakusta, Idia Larduisin and Garnuria Shindrea Noyera. Minia Huma, Lajida Huma, Lebela Zikabakara Huma, Lebelezikabakara Huma. It is you just get a better glass of the car, as a Gabagastia, La Balacastia, Akashika, the Baracalasia, Calasia, La Balacosta, Ekeshika, the Calasta, Calabaracalasia, Tapakatia, Akashika, the Baracazakaya, Elevatic, the Baracazakaracosta. Is it get a better large of Gabagastia, over our and the Sigabastilla, Jular Dorejo Mulabus, Diojamar, the Julas, the Bola, Temalar, the Rajaza. Jular Nonabola, you can relax your hands whenever, or if you feel like continuing, that's fine. Elar Nojabola, the Ojamola, the Nebela Mosa, the other. Jonar Norojimo, Hos, the Diojolar, the Emajolas, the Aja. Chudela Rojabola, the Gojabola, the Diojomo, or the Georges, the Bejolas. All of you are great aspirants of your own spiritual growth. You have been dedicating your attention and your energy to personal growth. You put in your time and energy to raise your consciousness. You're supported, you're loved, and you're guided always. Though sometimes meditation may seem like a bore, it's so boring, it's so repetitive, but still this serves as the foundation for the monkey mind to calm down. And the bottom comes from the complaints of your inner voices. Over time, this inner voice of complaints will dwindle down, fade away, and it will find peace too. So your meditation is a form of blessing for your inner voice to find peace, so that your inner voice can have an opportunity to rest too and find peace too. Arnarasuni Mejigurazam, Larnara to Enamarazugotia, Ribolacote, Talarnara Molozio, 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 Mohammedagramanzio, Oma Bezagramazio, 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 Oma Bezagramazio. There's do 3 ohms. Breathe in through your nose. Last round. 이제 나를 노래 좀 불러주세요. And lastly, any colors of light that comes to you as a form of blessing, received it. Can be any color, don't worry about it. Embrace the color that comes to you through your entire body, in your heart, in your body. Give thanks to this blessing. Slowly breathe in and breathe out. Slowly breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. In your own time, in your own space, you move your fingers and move your toes and rotate your eyeballs. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you've connected with your own source and allow this blessing to come through you. Some of you may see some colors or may feel some sensations on your body and all that. If it's your first time, this is very normal. And later on, have some water and all. If there are any questions, feel free to please. This is a good time if you would like to ask. Please type in your questions if you have. If not, you can always send us an email somewhere, and we'll be able to answer your uh, queries, your question itself. Okay. Yes. We can invite Celia to be back.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm just typing the email again
Mm.
so that you can contact us if you have any question. I hope you enjoy the sharing and the meditation. Um, for those who feel the calling to visit Bhutan in any way, I'll probably just share the retreat website address here and also the dates for your consideration.
Yes, some question. Will there be a replay? We will have a replay. No problem at all. And there was another question about how do you know that the color will appear at that moment? That color, I think you mean by how do we know that whether there will be a color that appears? If it's natural that if we mention if there is a color right now that comes to you, then embrace that color. So if such a statement when put out and a color appears into your awareness, then embrace that color. That's what I meant. Um, at another time, say if we are in Bhutan and then you meditate at a certain place, maybe you see lights, maybe it becomes brighter and brighter and brighter when you meditate, or you see some symbols or some colors that comes automatically without you being prompted, then simply allow it to happen. You don't have to analyze the colors or anything like that. Most of the time, the colors that comes or the light that comes will be very comfortable. And if it goes away, don't chase after it. Let it go. Maybe it comes again, as and when like that. And then your consciousness will continue to rise. Okay. Yes. Mm.
If I may share here about the video,
Yes.
we will upload it and share somewhere. So once that's ready, I will send an email to all of you, whoever that registers, so that you will know that this video has been uploaded for you to watch the replay. And also, please feel free to share with your friends and family.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. If you're not seen,
Any other questions?
you have not seen
Sorry.
the intro video, we have a Bhutan video which I will share a new link. Yeah. And we'll send it together with this so that you all can enjoy that. Yeah.
Video.
Yes. So another question that we have. Uh, for the oral transmission of the transfer of mantra, is this unique to as a group or individually? So we'll be doing this as a group, but individually you receive directly from the lamas itself, the Rinpoches itself. So uh, you will hear it together with everyone. Everybody will receive the same mantra. So it is a transmission of a specific mantra that is for everybody. Yeah. But you will receive the transmission also directly, even though you're in a group. Yeah. That means the energy transmission is coming to you directly. Okay. If that makes sense. Okay. Any other questions? Feel free.
What if I can't remember?
This is referring
Someone asked.
to the question of the that is the question related to colors earlier. What I can't remember. Oh, the mantra. No, you will remember. You'll be given out loud. Everybody remember on behalf. We'll be reciting the mantra together too. Yeah, no problem. I also want to mention that because Bhutan, they have this thing called a um, sustainable
Sustainable fee.
development fee, SDF. And sustainable development fee, Bhutan government charges 100 US dollars a day for tourists. That means every day that we're staying there, we have to pay $100 personally, each person. And it used to be, I think, 200, and it's been now reduced to 100. Bhutan can survive, it's fine, on their own too, but they want to also share their precious land and nature with others. And this money itself is to help them to sustain in their whole eco system. Um, and the fees of this $100 every day for that 10 days or so is been included. It's part of the whole package itself. There are many things that are also included. Say, for example, I prepared the SIM card, unlimited data, because you cannot use your own SIM if you when you enter Bhutan. It doesn't work. Okay. And so you have to use that SIM card, and it's very troublesome if we have to keep charging. So charging the SIM card to let you use data. So I've included unlimited data SIM card. It can be eSIM too. For those who need eSIM, is also available, or and a physical SIM card will prepare that for you too. All the ceremonies, all the offerings are included. The rituals, the offerings that we're doing to the monks, to all the temples, the entrances, of course, all meals, all accommodation, all workshop fees, any rental of spaces, cars, medics, including your flight
Ticket.
from Bangkok into Paro and Paro to Bangkok. This sector is also included because we want everybody to arrive also at the same time. And this flight into Paro is best arranged by our agent there. We also need to prepare visa because we need to apply for visa to enter into Bhutan. So um, please do register early or express your interest at least, so we know that at some point we're going to chase you for your passport. We don't need your physical passport, we just need the digital copy of it, and then we can apply the visa. And visa is a part of the uh, package itself. And there's also your clothing. So we all get a chance to wear a Bhutanese traditional clothing. So we also prepare that, but we will need to know the measurements, some basic measurements from you. So those who are registering, we need your body measurements and the your preference of colors. So we will wear these Bhutanese beautiful traditional clothing to visit maybe some of the temples or to visit the monks at times, depending on location. Yeah, and you can bring that back. It's yours. It's beautiful. I have two sets of my own for a guy, and ladies actually have a lot more designs and a lot more colors as always. Yeah. So that's also included. So it's very, very fun. It's of course retreat is retreat, but there's many other fun things, and maybe not everything uh, I will be able to say it here. So please take a look at our itinerary. And we will also have a manual. For all my retreats and sacred journeys, I will prepare a manual for you. So in there will be a lot more information about Bhutan and the workshops, maybe workshop materials, what we're going to do there, and certain things to watch out, what to bring. All these kind of stuff will be prepared um, uh, as a document for you. Okay.
Someone asked the maximum number of crew.
We won't be able to exceed 30 people, so less than 30. So it depends on how many people eventually will be coming, but the maximum number is 30 that we'll be able to handle.
Including us, the working
Yes,
team.
yes, yes, including us,
Yeah.
including us. And I think we
So
are coming close. Yeah. So, is there a reason Bhutan is opening up this year? A lot of people are going, yes, because the vortex is awakening, vortex is opening up. So that's why people are drawn to the place. Many countries, many power spots around the world are not as safe to go always due to all kinds of reasons, political reasons, war, diseases, natural disasters, all kinds of reasons, karmic issues. If we go certain places, sometimes collective karma may have danger. So Bhutan at this, well, at least to me, Bhutan this year, it's very clear, is very suitable, it's very quiet, is needed. What people need now, we can receive it there. But most importantly, it's not just about um, just going for a retreat, just going for a power spot, but what are you going to do there and how you're going to do it and what are you going to bring back. Uh, please don't go as a tourist mind. Please go there as to receive teachings, to learn, and to um, get empowered and activated so that we're elevated and with strength to go back and do what we need to do. Yeah, wherever we go back to. Okay.
there's a question on asking, is it advisable to bring crystals there for our meditation? And if yes, any specific type?
Not any specific type. Any type itself. I mean, don't bring giant crystals. I'm sure it will be hard to carry. Anything that is palm size, is good. Anything that's palm size can be pumps good to hold. Um, if you want something bigger, you can bring a bigger one too, a bigger size. That's fine. Try to bring crystals that are not easily broken. Like if you rub them, it's gonna break apart. Then don't bring those for sure. Yeah, bring quartz is good. Spheres are fine. Um, Smaller, bigger, even this size is okay. Yeah, whichever is okay. You can bring. Just don't bring too excessively big, obviously, and things that are easily broken. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, you can bring more than
thank
one.
you.
You can use that for empowerment and blessings. Mm.
Very nice.
All right.
I'll start looking at what crystals to bring.
Yes,
So thank you everyone for your questions. Anyone else has
yes.
any
If there's any minor
questions?
questions, feel free to email us and
Yep.
we'll detailed itinerary, not necessarily, because they may be changed on certain things. So I may not send the full detailed itinerary, but we will inform, of course, everybody ahead of time where we're going, what to prepare, what time to wake up, all this kind of stuff. So you won't be surprised. Don't worry about that. You'll be informed ahead of time. You will have enough time to prepare what you need to. Any adjustments, we will announce each day too. The next day, okay, we remind everybody next day where we're going, what
Mm.
we're gonna do, what time is lunch, what time is dinner, any breaks, how long is the journey, things like that. So you will be updated as we go along. Yeah. All right. Mm. All right. Thank you all so
Um,
much for, spending the time with us. And we will be sharing with you the information. Feel free to email us and all. Many, many blessings. Thank you all. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Bye.